Let's talk about how long the I-130 process take in IR5, IR1, IR2, CR1, CR2, F1, F2, F3, F4 visa category. Hello, my name is John and welcome. The I-130 petition allows U.S. citizens and also permanent residents to petition for their eligible family members to immigrate to the United States of America. Filing an I-130 form is relatively straightforward, but the processing time varies depending on the visa category, the relationship between the petitioner and the beneficiary, and also where the case is processed. In this video, I will break down the estimate processing time for each visa category. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens are given priority in the visa processing, and they're not subject to any annual limits. This means that after the I-130 petition is approved, they can proceed to the next steps, which is consular processing or adjustment of status, without waiting for a visa number to become available. First, let's talk about IR5 visa category. The IR5 visa category is for parents of U.S. citizens who are at least 21 years old. Since this category is considered immediate relative category, there is no cap, after the case is approved. Therefore, the processing time is quicker than other categories. Here is the estimated processing time for IR5 visa category. So the USCIS processing of the I-130 petition, that category can take 8 to 12 months on average. Once the case moves to NVC, the processing time, can vary from 3 to 4 months. And then after the case is documented to qualify, it can take 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. So the total estimate time can be 12 to 18 months. Second, IR1 visa category. Before we continue, if you're a spouse of a U.S. citizen or permanent resident and you are preparing for your immigrant visa interview but don't know exactly what kind of questions the interviewer will ask you the day of your interview, well, we have an ebook with 30 spousal immigrant visa questions and details and answers that can help you. The link is in the description below. So the IR1 visa category is for spouses of U.S. citizens who have been married for more than 2 years at the time of the visa approval. Like other immediate relative visa category, this category doesn't have a limit. Here is the estimate time for IR1 visa category. So this one, the USCIS can take 10 to 14 months to process the case. NVC can take 3 to 5 months to review the case, and once the case is approved, it can take 2 to 4 months to schedule an interview. So basically, the total estimate time can be 14 to 24 months. Third, IR2 visa category. The IR2 visa category is for unmarried children under the age of 21 of U.S. citizens. Since this is an immediate relative visa category, this one also doesn't have annual limits, which makes the process relatively fast. Here is an estimate time for IR2 visa category. USCIS can take 10 to 12 months to process the case. NVC can take 3 to 5 months to review the case, and then to another 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. So the total estimate time can be 14 to 20 months. Conditional resident visas are granted to spouses and also children of U.S. citizens whose marriage is less than 2 years at the time of the visa approval. The process is similar to IR1 and IR2, but the difference is the beneficiaries will receive a 2 years conditional resident status. They must file a joint petition to remove conditions on their status within 90 days before the second anniversary of their green card issuance. The first conditional resident visa category is CR1. So CR1 visa category is for spouses of US citizens whose marriage is less than 2 years at the time of the visa approval. Here is the estimate processing time for CR1 visa category. USCIS can take 10 to 14 months to process the case. NVC can take 3 to 5 months to work on the case. After the case is documented to qualify, it can take another 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. So the total estimate time can be 14 to 24 months. The second category is on CR2, which is for children under the age of 21 of US citizens whose marriage is less than 2 years at the time of the visa approval. Here is the estimate time for CR2 visa category. So USCIS can take 10 to 12 months to process the case. Once the case is approved, NVC can take 3 to 5 months to work on the case. And once the case is documented to qualify, it can take another 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. And then the total estimate time can take 14 to 20 months. Unlike immediate relative, the family preference visas are subjected to annual limit, which means that after the case is approved, the beneficiaries have to wait until a visa number is available. The availability of visa numbers is determined by the visa bulletin published monthly by the U.S. Department of State. I go over those bulletin boards every month on this channel. The first category is F1 category, which is unmarried sons and daughters of US citizens who are 21 and over. Since this category is subject to an annual limit, the wait time for a visa can be long, especially for applicants from countries with a higher domain like Mexico or the Philippines. Here is the estimate processing time for F1 visa category. This one, USCIS can take 7 to 10 months to work on the case. Once the case is approved, NVC can take 7 to 9 years before scheduling the interview. So basically 7 to 9 years for the case to be documented to qualify, because they have to wait, those visa applicants have to wait until the visa number is available, and after that NVC can take another 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. So the total estimate time for this category can take 8 to 10 years. The second category is F2 category, which is for spouses and children of permanent residents. This category is divided into 2 subcategories. On the F2A, which is for unmarried children under age of 21 of permanent resident, and also spouses of permanent resident. Here is the estimate time for F2A visa category. USCIS can take 10 to 14 months to approve the case. After that, the wait time before the case is documented to qualify can take 2 to 3 years, and then it can take another 2 to 4 months before NVC schedule the interview for the applicant. The total estimate time in that category can take 2.5 to 3.5 years. The second subcategory is F2B, which is unmarried sons and daughters 21 and over of permanent residents. The F2A visa category wait time changes a lot due to the high demand in this category, but sometimes it can be a little shorter than other visa category in the family preference sponsor. On the other hand, on the F2B categories wait time, it's longer. Here is the estimate time for F2B visa category. So USCIS can take 10 to 14 months to process the case. The applicant will wait 5 to 7 years, in order for the case to be documented to qualify. And then after that, the NVC, National Visa Center, can take another 2 to 4 months before they can schedule the interview. The third category is F3 category, which is married sons and daughters of US citizens. Just like the previous 2 visa categories, this F3 category is also subject to annual cap. Basically, once the case is approved, the beneficiary has to wait longer before a visa number can become available. In F3 category, the estimate time can be like this. USCIS will take 10 to 14 months to process the case. The applicant will wait 10 to 12 years. Then after that, once the case is documented to qualify, and NVC, National Visa Center, will take another 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. So the total estimate time can be 11 to 13 years in this category. And then the last family preference and visa category is F4 category. So this one is for siblings of US citizens, and then their wait time is longer as well compared to the other visa categories in family preferences categories. Keep in mind that if you are a US citizen, you want to file for your brothers and sisters, you have to be at least 21 of age or older. For F4 category, USCIS can take 10 to 14 months to process the case. After that, the applicant can wait 14 to 16 years before the case is documented to qualify. And after that, NVC can take 2 to 4 months to schedule the interview. So the total estimate time in this category can take 15 to 17 years. So the time it takes to process an I-130 petition depends greatly on the visa category and also the country of origin of the beneficiary. Keep in mind that immediate relative categories like IR1, IR2, CR1, CR2, IR5 are not subjected to annual limit, and therefore the visa process is quicker than other categories in family preference and sponsor categories like F1, F2, F3, and F4. If you are a US citizen or permanent resident or petition for your relative, your family members, you have to be patient. It's very important to be patient because, like I said, the process, it's a long process. Thanks for watching.